Everybody out there, welcome to Randall's weather page. Before we get into it, make sure to go down, hit the subscribe button, ring that bell. Make sure you know when these videos come out because they keep you in the know, and there's no hype. It's just information. Not trying to blow everybody up, just trying to make sure that you have the right and proper information for your weather situation. Today, we're staying in the tropics. Guess what? We now have two tropical depressions, number 15, that's out in the Atlantic Ocean, and then number 16, which is in the Central Caribbean Ocean. Plus, we have a wave coming off Africa. So, two tropical depressions right now. Let's get right into it. 5-day graphical tropical weather outlook. There's 15. Here's now 16. And then within 5 days, you have a wave that's coming off of Africa. It will be moving out into the Atlantic. And the National Hurricane Center has already given it about a 40 to 60% chance of developing into something tropical within the next 5 days. So even when 15 and 16 are over with, the waves keep on rolling. The African wave train is active. Let's take a look at the satellite. First off, let's go up here. Let's look at 15. Not much to look at, to be quite honest with you. This storm is, it's a depression. I don't think it's going to be anything other than a depression. Could surprise us, but I seriously doubt it. Just small in nature, not a lot to look at. It's just a depression. Okay, let's move down to 16. 16 definitely looks better. You can definitely tell the spin in 16 is breathing better. It's getting into a great environment for it to intensify and maybe get larger. So 16 is definitely something that I'm going to keep my eye out on. And then over here on Africa, here's the wave that the National Weather Service National Hurricane Center is looking at for development within 3 to 5 days from now. All right. Let's move over to total precipitable water. I love this because you can tell spin very easily on the total precipitable water. Look at the spin on 15. You can tell exactly where it's at. You can tell that it's getting tighter rotation, but a couple of things that will inhibit 15 from being much of anything. Here's tropical depression number 16. Good spin. It's right below Jamaica right now. And we'll talk about where it's going. And then you can already tell a little bit of a spin back here on what the National Hurricane Center is looking at for 3 to 5 days out. So once this comes out into water, will it develop? Well, yet to be seen, but we'll take a look at it. Let's look at water vapor. So this is mid-layer water vapor. Your blues and your greens are atmospheric rich. So there is good water vapor inside there. Your yellows and oranges, that is dry air. That's dry air. There's a high pressure system that's out here. That's why this is dry. It's also coming off the African coast. And notice it kind of meanders along the Atlantic into the Caribbean, into the Gulf of Mexico. But the main part of the dry air is coming off Africa and in the far eastern Atlantic right now. Here he is, tropical depression number 15. Notice some dry air trying to get into tropical depression 15. Here is 16. There is dry air out in front of 16, but 16 seems to be pushing that out away. Notice this leading edge right here is trying to push the dry air out of the way. So, and once again, this will be moving into a more favorable atmosphere. So you're probably going to be seeing development out of 16. And then here's the wave that will be coming out into the Atlantic within the next 5 days. Let's look at wind shear. This is a wind shear tendency over the past 24 hours. Here is tropical depression number 15. Notice just above it, your reds and pinks are high wind shear. And that's what your Tropical Depression number 15 is going to be moving into. So this will be inhibited from really growing or really intensifying because it will be moving into wind shear, a lot of wind shear. Here is number 16, just south of Jamaica, and guess what? All around it, not much wind shear whatsoever. It's in favorable condition for intensification and for growing. So as far as wind shear, number 16 is sitting in a favorable spot. And then if you go back and you look at the main development region, there's not a lot of wind shear in the past 24 hours. So your main wind shear threat is up here north to number 15. Not much of a threat whatsoever for 16 in your main development region. For tropical activity, pretty light in shear at the moment. Here are your steering patterns. So this is the upper air wind steering pattern. This kind of gives you a clue to what direction storms are going to move. High pressure. Here's your low pressure. This is number 15. Notice where it's going to go. Right here. I already tell it's going to ride the high pressure ridge. So it's going to move it to the north. That is this looping around. I just don't see. This is going to grab a hold and move off to the northeast. Here's where number 16's at. What's the steering pattern for 16? Pretty simple. Right into Central America. And then notice in the main development region, your movement is more towards the east, but it's not towards the west, but it's not a strong current. So, especially in the main development region. So that is your steering current, so you can see where storms are going. Number 15, let's get into it. This was of the 5 a.m. this morning. It's 35 mile per hour winds moving northeast at 13 miles per hour. Notice the National Hurricane Center does not have it going in or intensifying into a tropical storm. It keeps it as a depression and then moves it into an extra tropical status by 2 a.m. on Thursday, which means they'll stop doing advisories after that. So not much with 15. It's going to be a fish storm basically. And what you're seeing now is what it's pretty much going to be the entire lifespan of it. Let's look at the spaghetti models. Most spaghetti models move it directly to the northeast. Yesterday we had some looping around. Those models have now corrected and they're back to moving to the northeast, and that'll be the general direction for 15. Let's go into just released update for Tropical Depression 16 with tropical wind force already being seen. As of 4 o'clock, it's sustained winds at 40 miles per hour, moving west at 18 miles per hour. Notice it does move it to a tropical storm, so more than likely this will be Nana. And then notice where it's moving into: Belize, Guatemala, and Honduras. So this will be a Central American storm. I do not see anything in the Gulf of Mexico. I don't see a sudden turn north. Your steering patterns have it directly into Central America. So this is what the National Hurricane Center has put out. I 100% agree with it. It'll turn into a tropical storm, be named Nana, and then move into Central America. Once again, Belize, Guatemala, and Honduras. Right now, the National Hurricane Center has it moving directly into Belize as a tropical storm. Let's look at the spaghetti models. Don't pay attention to the ones in black. Those are just extrapolated. We don't pay attention to those. We pay attention to the ones that are in color. Once again, most of them going into Central America around Honduras, Belize, and Guatemala. So that is now your new, well, not new, but this is your general pattern going into Central America for what will be, or what should be, Tropical Storm Nana. All right, just want to let you know that on my Facebook page, I will be doing a Facebook Live tonight talking about Tropical Depression 15 and now 16 plus more tropical waves. So make sure to get on my weather page on Facebook come join us tonight. That's 8:30 Central Standard Time. Come join us for Facebook Live. We'll get together, we'll chat, we'll figure out what's going on, let you know any updates that have happened at that time. And we'll just I'm calling it Tropical Tuesdays. Let's do a Facebook Live every Tuesday and talk about what's going on in the tropics. All right, thank you for joining me today. Once again, make sure to hit that subscribe button and make sure to share this with your friends and your family so not only you, but they can be in the know when it comes to the tropics. Thanks a lot.